Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you on a pretty bleak Monday here in the UK. Sure, plenty of you are feeling very similar to I am today, who are certainly over here in the UK. Plenty of you probably around the rest of the world feeling slightly happier than we all are here after that Euros 2020 final last night. Congratulations to Italy. If you're watching this in Italy, well done. You were certainly the best team in this tournament and you absolutely deserved to win the trophy, but it still doesn't make it feel too much better over here thinking how close England got. Penalties again. Oh, when is that pain going to ever end? Blasted penalties. And it's a real shame. Obviously, Bukayo Saka is the big story. Today, he missing the decisive penalty for England, along with Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford. And I mean, a lot of people had their say. I've had my say on social media. I will never ever understand the thinking of having Bukayo Saka as the fifth penalty taker in a game as massive as that, in a moment as monumental as that. I mean, he's never taken a penalty in his life, a senior penalty anyway. You know, finishing is not exactly Bukayo's strong point in the first place. I was absolutely stunned when I saw him walking up to take that penalty. I figured just before, when Rashford and Sancho were coming on, right at the end of extra time, clearly to take penalty, I figured that Saka would be substituted, because just never in my mind did it pop into it that Saka would be one of the penalty takers, and let alone be number 5. I don't get the reasoning behind it, even if he did put his hand up, which we don't know if he did or not. But you know, for Gareth Southgate to select him at number 5, and we've seen the video of Southgate doing the rounds, pointing out who was taking what, and you know, if he's going to take one, fair enough, give him number 3. I mean, to put Rashford at number 5, really, at least Rashford's a penalty taker and has taken some really big penalties at key moments. To put a 19-year-old kid who'd just come into the England team on number 5, it was just a bit of a recipe for disaster, really. He looked like a bit of a lamb to the slaughter, and unfortunately we saw what happened, and he missed, and he's just had to take the most outrageous abuse on social media ever since. So's Rashford, so's Sancho. I just don't understand what is wrong with these people who send these messages. And you know, I mean, those 3 players, they've achieved more in their short lifetimes than all these cowards out there who hide behind social media accounts and abuse them on social media will achieve in their lifetime. And yet they still feel empowered enough to go on there and send these messages to kids still. You know, Saka's 19, he's a kid still, and he's having to take this. He's just had the most devastating moment of his life. And he comes back in, picks up his phone and has to see messages like that. It's just an absolute disgrace. And it's so sad that we've had to talk about that this morning. Arsenal have had to release a statement, a club statement. If you haven't seen it, this is what Arsenal said. Last night we saw Bukayo Saka reach the Euro 2020 final at the age of just 19 years old. But Bukayo has been with us since he was 7, and the whole club couldn't have been prouder to see him represent England throughout the tournament. You could feel it right across the club. Last night we witnessed the leadership and character we've always known and loved in Bukayo. However, this feeling of pride quickly turned to sorrow at the racist comments our young player was subjected to on social media platforms after the final whistle. Once again, we are sad to say we have to condemn the racism of a number of black players. This cannot continue, and the social media platform and authorities must act to ensure this disgusting abuse to which our players are subjected on a daily basis stops now. We have processes in place internally at Arsenal to ensure our players are supported both emotionally and practically on this issue, but sadly there is only so much we can do. Our message to Bukayo is hold your head up high. We are really so proud of you. We cannot wait to welcome you back to Arsenal soon. So a lovely message there to Bukayo from Arsenal, and strong words from Arsenal, and absolutely correct words as well. So everyone needs to take accountability of this. Yes, the social media platforms do as well, but you people, whoever it is, if any of you are watching this video and you've sent a message like that, then wake up, educate yourselves. It's just pathetic, and I certainly hope that none of my subscribers are any of the people who write these sort of messages at all, because it is just bang out of order and a disgrace, plain and simple. And the fact, like I said, that Bukayo, who must be feeling so down, you saw he was feeling so down after the game, has had to come back and look at his phone and see messages like that. Is just an absolute disgrace. It's a disgrace to our country, disgrace to anyone, any country, of any person who's sent those messages. And I just hope Bukayo Saka can get away now, can have a holiday that he deserves after the fabulous performances he's turned in during the Euros, and can come out to Arsenal feeling refreshed and knowing that his teammates and his club are fully behind him and fully supportive. And some of the reaction of the teammates, it's been great to see that. While the horrible messages are awful, to see some of the reaction that we've seen as well, and the really nice reaction from people is good to see and encouraging to see. We've seen Arsenal players and his teammates rally round him as well, other players from other teams rallying around him as well, and that's what we want to see, and that's what we need to see more of. And Bukayo, what he's done this season is just magnificent. Player of the season for Arsenal, going to the Euros, starring at the Euros for England, all at 19 years old. It's just something that Arsenal should be very, very proud of, this player, and he should be proud of himself. And I hope after the disappointment of what happened last night sort of ebbs away a little bit over the coming days, weeks, he can really sort of take stock on what he's achieved already in this young career that is only going strength for strength, and he can come back a stronger player from it. So that's the end of the Euros, all done and dusted. Now we can really turn our attentions to Arsenal, and it is starting very, very quickly. Arsenal in action for the first time this summer. Tomorrow night, Tuesday night, they play Hibernian in Scotland as part of their 5-day training camp north of the border. They've left London Colney this morning, travelling up to Scotland. Like I said, whether we spend 5 days, they play Hibs on Tuesday, and then they play Rangers on Saturday before coming back to England. A couple of days back in London, and they fly off to America for the Florida Cup. So preparations starting in earnest now for the new season. A little bit of news about that trip to Scotland on who has travelled. New signing Nuno Tavares is there, so we'll be seeing him in action for the first time probably tomorrow against Hibernian. I imagine he'll play some part in that game. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on and how he looks. Other players who are gone: Aubameyang's gone, Lacazette's gone, Pepe's gone, Emil Smith-Rowe is gone, Thomas Partey's gone, Bellerin, Cedric, Holding, Kolasinac, Willock, Chambers, Pablo Mari, all this lot are gone. So it's going to be a very, very strong squad. Obviously, Arsenal didn't have too many players in international action over the summer, so pretty much everyone is back at Colney now. Obviously, you've got your notable absentees like Saka, Leno, Xhaka, Torreira as well, Tierney, obviously those players who are representing their countries during the summer at either the Copa America or at the Euros. But other than that, we've got a pretty full squad. I think it's going to be a travelling party of around 30, so quite a few youngsters are going to be involved as well. I'm not quite sure exactly who has gone, but people like Omar Rekik, people like that, I presume will be up there. And we will see them in action over the course of the 2 days. Obviously up there for 5 nights. Mikel Arteta will be using it as a really good opportunity to sort of get everyone together now away from London Colney, really nail things down. I don't think we're going to see too much of sort of footage of what's going on up there. I think the Arsenal media team, they're kind of going in and out for the game, so they're not really staying with them during the 5-day trip. I think they've kind of purposely done that to Arsenal and Arteta just wants to focus on getting the squad together for the first time really this summer and really work on a few things, not to have too many distractions, just focus on training, focus on the matches and then come back. So the Arsenal media team will kind of be going in and out for the games. We'll see the usual stuff around matches, but in terms of sort of behind the scenes stuff at the training camp, I don't think we'll be seeing too much of that. That's not really the plan that Mikel wanted, but certainly going to be interesting to see some of these players. Like I said, Tavares will be good to see. It'll be interesting to see if we see some of the squad numbers as well. Some of the changes. We know Nuno Tavares obviously got number 20. We know Thomas Partey has changed his squad number but then there's the others that are kind of up in the air. Who's going to be getting number 10? Is it going to be Smith-Rowe 10 this season? Like it has been rumoured, is that number 10 going to be saved for someone else coming in? We'll see if we get a sort of glimpse or a hint at that over the next couple of games. Whether the squad numbers they're going to be wearing are going to be confirmed anyway this weekend, we'll have to wait and see. But so yeah, that's the latest in terms of Arsenal and Scotland. Bit of news about the new home kit. Arsenal will be wearing the away kit against Hibs on Tuesday, but the new home kit, I understand Arsenal will be playing in for the first time on Saturday. That kit will be launched at the end of this week, Friday I believe, the official launch with Adidas for the new home kit, and then they'll be wearing it against Rangers for the first time. I'm sure you've all seen pictures of it already that are doing the round. It's not going to become as any great surprise when we see the actual kit itself for the first time officially, because we've all seen it for a while now. Obviously kind of feels a bit Ajax-y when you look at it, not really the your traditional Arsenal home shirt, I would say. I think they've modelled it on the what was it? Was it 99 to 2000 when it had the kind of white stripe that went the whole way down the side? It does look quite Ajaxy, I have to say, but it does look pretty smart as well. It's a nice looking kit. Whether you see it as a traditional Arsenal kit is another thing, but we'll certainly get the first good look at it this Saturday in that game against Rangers. That's the kind of what we're working with ahead of the trip to Scotland. Hopefully you'll be able to watch the games. There's obviously, if you're not a member of Arsenal, then you have to pay which a lot of people are very angry about. Not surprised, it's an awful lot of money. 28 quid for the 4 pre-season games doesn't feel right to me, that. But if you're a member, you get it for free, and so hopefully you'll get to watch it. I will be watching them both. I'm not going up to Scotland, but I'll be watching it both, and we'll keep my eyes over both of the games, and we'll report on them after the match as well. So if you do miss anything, then please do head over to my social media accounts or to goal.com, and we'll have everything covered in terms of Arsenal's stay in Scotland. I'll try and do a couple of videos after the games, try and do a player ratings. It never really works too well because so many. It's like 2 completely different teams, first half and second half. Ratings are very hard to do most of the time, but I will come on and do a little sort of post-match video if I can, just to talk through what I have seen and anyone who's impressed me, that sort of thing. Okay, so in terms of transfers now, a little bit quiet at the moment. We're in a bit of a lull again. Tavares obviously was confirmed on Saturday. We'll get our first good look of him during the 2 games against Scotland. Albert Lokonga getting very, very closer. Not going to be involved in the trip to Scotland. He's obviously had his medical now ahead of his move to Anderlecht, but that move has to be finalised after his quarantine period ends. I believe he's over here. I'm not 100% certain he is here, but I think he has. I haven't had it completely confirmed, but like Tavares, he has to wait and confirm and see out the quarantine period before linking up with the first team. I was always told it was very, very unlikely he was going to be able to play any sort of part in the Scotland trip. That seems to be the case. So you're looking at the America trip really for Albert Lokonga when it comes to seeing him for the first time and his move being confirmed. But we are slowly getting there with him at the moment. He'll be following Tavares and will be Arsenal's second summer signing. And now it'll be interesting to see exactly how quickly things start to move now the Euros is over. How quickly can Arsenal try and get a deal done for Ben White at Brighton now he's finished with England. Obviously he's going to be like Saka, going to be heading off on holiday now because he hasn't had one. Is that going to disrupt things a little bit? We'll have to wait and see. But I think the whole market now, not just Arsenal, the whole market is really going to start moving forward a little bit now and gathering pace, because it has been relatively quiet because of all the distraction of the Euros and the fact that a lot of the players are aware of the Euros who are going to be on the potentially making moves this summer. So we should start to see quite a bit of movement in the market now that perhaps we haven't seen up to this point. And that will include, without doubt, Arsenal and what they can get done in terms of Ben White and then the attacking midfielder options, selling players as well. Granit Xhaka to Roma, that still hasn't happened. Roma still haven't put in a bid that is acceptable for Arsenal. Granit Xhaka has been on holiday for a while now as well, because Switzerland went out a while ago, so it won't be too long before he'll be due to report back to London Colney, which just a few weeks ago didn't look like that was certainly going to be happening. But if Roma don't put the money up and don't pay up, then that could end up happening. We'll certainly see movement with Locatelli as well, now that Italy are done and dusted in the tournament. As I've always said, I fully expect he'll end up at Juventus, but Arsenal are interested in him. And if Juventus can't agree a deal with Sassuolo that suits all party, and then you never know, Arsenal could still make a play for Locatelli. They are interested in him, but Juventus certainly in the driving seat when it comes to him. They've just got to get this deal done with with Sassuolo, and while they don't, then Arsenal will continue to hover in the background for the Italian Euro 2020 winner, which we can call him that now. So congratulations to him, and as I said at the start of this video, to Italy. All right, everyone, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with me during the Euros for my usual sort of England spiels that I've done. I know a lot of you don't support England, so thank you for putting up with that, and I promise now it will just be fully focused on Arsenal as we head towards the start of the 2021-22 season. So as I said, please do keep your eyes peeled ahead of that match against Hibernian tomorrow and afterwards as well, and I'll try and keep everything covered from that as Arsenal begin their pre-season campaign.